I'm tired of being your habit." Then she'd walked away. And Taylor? She hadn't said anything. She didn't need to. Her absence was a quiet protest, a reflection of all the times she'd waited for him to choose her and he hadn't. This time, she had chosen herself. He was alone. Which is why the designs mattered more than they ever had, because they weren't just garments. They were the manifestations of Ridge Forrester's soul, stitched in silk and defiance. The classic design, the legacy sketch, was safe, predictable, beautiful in its restraint. It would please the board, honor Eric's tradition, and probably sell out in every high-end boutique from Rodeo Drive to Paris. The other one, the rogue design, was chaos in chiffon, but it pulsed with life. It screamed of love and rebellion, of risk and redemption, of Brooke. He turned his chair, watching the rain trail down the window like tears too proud to fall. What was he waiting for? Lightning forked in the sky, illuminating the skyline. Suddenly he saw her, Brooke, out there, maybe not in the storm, but in his mind, defiant, standing barefoot on the sand, smiling like she knew she'd already won. No, he couldn't go there, not again. He closed his eyes, and for a moment, he was young again, standing on the Forrester estate lawn, sketchpad in hand, watching the world move too fast, dreaming of fashion, of women, of something bigger than himself. "You have your father's eye," Stephanie had once told him, "but not his heart. That will either make you great, or destroy you." Was that the choice now? He stood, the storm within him stilled. He reached for the bolder design, his fingers brushing the page like it might burn him, and maybe it would. But he picked it up. Not because it was Brooke's design. Not because it was what the world expected from Ridge Forrester the rebel. But because, for the first time in a long time, it was his. That was the real choice. He walked down the corridor, passing portraits of past collections, ghosts of muses past. At the design table, he pinned the sketch down. "Print this," he said to the assistant. "It's our lead." The room paused. "You sure?" she asked, wide-eyed. Ridge smiled faintly. "I've never been more sure of anything." And maybe, just maybe, he meant it. As the office buzzed to life, Ridge turned again toward the window. The rain was slowing, the clouds parting, and the faintest golden light breaking through. Back in his office, his phone buzzed. A message. From Brooke. "So, what did you choose?" Ridge stared at the screen. Then, with a smirk, he typed back. "I chose me." Seconds passed. Then the typing dots appeared. "Brooke, about damn time." He laughed. Later that evening, when the show lights went up and the bold new line graced the runway, the crowd gasped, not because of the fashion alone, but because the pieces had a story in their seams. They told of heartbreak, of legacy, of desire, of a man who had finally stopped choosing sides and started choosing truth. Taylor was in the audience too, dignified, calm. She clapped, genuinely impressed, because she saw it too. Ridge wasn't choosing between women anymore. He was choosing to evolve, and in doing so, maybe, just maybe, he was becoming the man they both had always believed he could be. And somewhere, under that spotlight, Ridge Forrester stopped being a symbol. He became a story, his own. Want to continue the story or add a twist? Maybe bring in a surprise return or a scandal. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Brooke's brain tumor, desperation over Ridge explained. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, has always been fixated on Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K. However, since the Forrester Creations takeover, she has become even more desperate and in alarming ways. There is something very off with Brooke right now. Could she have a brain tumor? Does that explain her increased begging to reunite with her ex-husband? Keep reading and let's discuss the possibilities. Ridge and Brooke were together when Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel, committed the FC takeover. Then Carter and Hope suggested that Brooke take the CEO position. The blonde accepted and then lost her fiance to Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddig. Ridge reasoned that his destiny betrayed him by working for the people who took his family's company. However, Brooke insisted that she was there to try to convince Carter to do the right thing. After Carter and the Forrester family made a deal, Hope felt completely betrayed. Hope especially feels betrayed by her own mother. While Brooke technically didn't do anything wrong, she's usually much more passionate about things. Brooke's behavior about Hope and Forrester Creations has been confusing. There is just something that feels off about Brooke, especially when it comes to Hope and SC. I can't put my finger on it, but there is something wrong. The bold and the beautiful spoilers reveal that Brooke can't focus on work or Hope's issues without obsessing over Ridge. How many times has Brooke been distracted by thoughts of Ridge lately? Everyone gets distracted, but it seems to be constant for Brooke lately. There is also the begging. Brooke should have some self-respect. Brooke even demanded Ridge choose between her and Taylor. However, there was no choice to make as he made his decision weeks ago. Brooke has always been crazy about Ridge, but her behavior seems to be escalating. Plus, Brooke has never been one to just wipe her hands of Hope. That kinda seems to be what's going on, though. Could there be an explanation for all of this? Is it possible that all the begging, stripping down in the office, and distractions are a symptom of something much bigger? Taylor had broken heart syndrome, which guilted Ridge into spending more time with his ex-wife. Now they are back together. So could Brooke be given her own medical drama, maybe a brain tumor? Who will Ridge choose then? Ridge Forrester's choice. The storm broke over Los Angeles like a secret finally spoken, thunder cracking, rain cascading down the windows of Forrester Creations like a curtain falling on a too-long performance. Inside his office, Ridge Forrester stood motionless, a man caught between the echoes of his past and the trembling breath of his future. Two sketches lay before him. One was classic, refined, elegant, everything his father would have expected. The other, bold, a statement, risky. It was the design of someone who had nothing left to prove and everything left to lose. He stared at them like they were women, two muses, each pulling at different parts of his soul. He could hear their voices even now. "Trust your instincts, Ridge," whispered Brooke's voice, warm as sunlight on a Malibu morning. "You know who you are. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, not even to yourself." But then there was Taylor's voice, steady and patient, grounding. "You're more than the sum of your passions. You have responsibilities, a legacy. What would Stephanie say if she were here?" Ridge exhaled sharply, rubbing a hand through his hair. How had it come to this? Not the designs, that was surface-level drama, a metaphor made real. No, the real choice had begun weeks ago, when he found himself at that same maddening crossroads between passion and reason. Between Brooke and Taylor. Again? He was a man split by love. Always had been. But this time was different. Brooke had shown up at his doorstep, drenched from the rain, mascara streaked, yet radiating that unmistakable fire that once made him throw away everything just to touch her skin. She'd said only one thing.